Good morning, children. Welcome back to our math session. Today we are introducing a new chapter, that is chapter number 3, Understanding Quadrilaterals. Or today's topic is Introduction Part 1. So here we are not introducing all the topics, but a few topics we are covering in this video. With that, you can see exercise 3.1, question number 1 and 2. That is actually related with the introduction part. So note down all the important points and their definitions with at least one example. Okay. Draw the figures also properly with a pencil in your notebook. Clear? Okay. So let we start. So first let us see the topics to be covered in these lessons are introduction, polygons, quadrilaterals, properties of quadrilaterals, types of quadrilaterals, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square. These are the main points we are covering in this lesson. But in this video, we are completing introduction and polygons. Okay, so let we start. So let we start our introduction part. Now, when we talk about shapes, you can see variety of shapes around you, isn't it? In fact, there are so many objects that we see around us, and these objects are so many different shapes, isn't it? Now, look at some of the examples. For example, star. When you look at the shape of the star, it has five sharp arms which are seen very distinctly, isn't it? Again, when you compare the shape of a star with that of a sun, do you think they are having same shape? Not really, isn't it? The sun is like more as a sphere, a circular shape. Again, you are compare these things, something like a door or the window. So, what are their shapes? So, they are somewhat in the shape of a rectangle, isn't it? Now, these are the shapes that we are going to talk about in more detail in this lesson. Now, look at this kite. The shape of the kite and the shape of the door, they are not exactly similar. They are different from each other, isn't it? But at least both of these are like kind of formed by line segments, right? But still they are also different from each other, isn't it? You think of the shape of a heart, that's again quite different, isn't it? So there were so many different objects are around us, and we see all of them with a different and distinct shapes, isn't it? So we can say that these all are variety of shapes. Both are different in each other, isn't it? But they are having some similarity also. What is that? That we are going to learn. Okay. So in this lesson, we are going to analyze these shapes, isn't it? So next our topic is curves, closed versus open curves. Now analyzing these shapes, we have concluded that curves can be of two types. It can be, it can either be a closed curve or it can be an open curve, isn't it? So closed curve. What is a closed curve? It has no end points and it enclosing area within it. Means closed curve is one which has no end point. So basically it encloses the area within it. So look at these shapes. So all of these shapes, what do you see? You see that there is no starting and end point, isn't it? You don't know from where it started because really we can't determine looking at this, right? At the same time, there is some area included within it. For example, this is the area enclosed here, and this is the area enclosed in this figure. isn't it? So basically, these types of shapes, we form a boundary. So we enclose the entire region within that boundary. So these are called closed curves. Now the other type of curve is open curve. What is an open curve? An open curve is having endpoints and there is no area enclosed. Now, what are open curves? Let's see. So, these curves, they have endpoints, but they do not have an area enclosed. So, let us look at some of the examples of open curves. So, these shapes, if you see that there is one starting point and one end point, is there is a starting and end, both the points it is having, isn't it? Isn't it? And it could be vice versa as well, as means yeah, end point or starting point. And it could be as well as, but you can actually very distinctly see these 2 points, right? You can see the points here starting, where it is starting and where it is ending. So you know from where it started and where it ended. So basically the end point exists. Similarly, you look at the line segment. Have also, you have two distinct points from where it started and where it ended. Now look at this angle. It have also, you can see that even though the shape is not like a straight line, still you have two end points, right? Now here, do you think that any area enclosed within these curves? No. When you draw a line, there is no area enclosed by the line, isn't it? So look at the angle. So is this area enclosed? No, because this angle is open from here, isn't it? Right. So anybody anybody can come and anybody can go in these angles, isn't it? So means it is open, the mouth is open here, so that is why it is called an open curve. So this is how we can distinguish between a closed curve and an open curve, right? Now when you look at so many variety of shapes, you actually get to see the difference of open and closed curve, right? Looking at these shapes, and you can analyze that how can an object be an open curve and a closed curve. Let me take an example. Take a rope. First keep the rope like a straight line. Okay, now what is the shape of the rope? It's an open curve, isn't? Yes, but the moment you fold the rope and form a loop like this, what happens? You do not see the starting and end point, right? Now it encloses some area also, isn't? Okay, so what shape is it now? Now it's a closed, right? It's a closed curve. So this is how we have distinguished between an open curve and a closed curve. Clear? What is an open curve and what is a closed curve, and the difference between an open curve and a closed curve. Clear? Okay. Similarly, we analyze further also. The curves can be of two types depending on their complexity, that are symbol curves and non-symbol curves. Symbol curves. What is a symbol curves? Curves that does not cross itself. That is called symbol curves. So here you can see some examples of symbol curves. They are not cross themselves. Okay. So when we talk about a symbol and non-symbol curves, they are in dependent of open and closed curve. So when we are talking about a symbol curve can be an open curve. It can also be a closed curve. Okay. So you can have symbol open curve and symbol closed curve. Now, if it is a symbol curve, that means the curve never cross itself, isn't it? That is important. Now you talk at these images, This is the curve. This curve never crossed itself, never intersect itself. Similarly, when you look at the closed curve, this sphere, this is a simple closed curve because see this curve never crossed itself, isn't it? Now, what do I meaning by crossing itself? What do it means? So for that, let's look at the images of non-symbol curve. Then we could understand what is crossed itself. What do you mean by crossed itself? Okay, so let's see. So the non-symbol curve, they would cross themselves. So let's look at these images. Here you can see that the same curve means the symbol curve crosses itself, then it make as a non-symbol curve. Isn't it? Any symbol curve is if it is crossing itself means then it will make as a non-symbol curves. So in these all images we can see the same type of crosses, isn't it? So these are non-symbol curves. So now we can say that we can have symbol closed curve and we can also have symbol open curve. Now, why are we talking about these and all? Because we should have some idea about various shapes before we start talking about quadrilaterals, isn't it? Because quadrilateral also is a specific type of shape, right? So with this, I think clear up that which is a symbol curve and which is a broad symbol curve, because later we need these all topics. That is why I'm explaining again and again. Okay, what is a symbol curve, what is non-symbol curves. So first step is curves, after that only polygons are coming, then after that we are coming to our point, that is quadrilateral. Okay, so each point is interrelated with each other. Clear? Now, our next topic is polygon. So now that we have got some idea about shapes, isn't it? Now let us talk about the polygon. So the word poly means many. So it is basically a shape with many sides, right? So what is a polygon? The simple closed curve made up of only line segments is called a polygon, right? So it is a simple closed curve and made up of only line segments. Means it's important that it is a simple closed curve, never be an open curve and never be a non-symbol curve. Clear? And another criteria is it has to be made up of only line segments. Now it can have multiple lines. That is why the name is polygon. Polygon means poly means many. So many line segments can form a polygon. So these images that you see on the screen, are they all examples of polygon? Let us try to check them if all are polygon or not. The first one, is it a simple curve? Yes, because it doesn't cross itself, isn't it? It is also closed curve because it encloses a region inside it, isn't it? Means it encloses area. And is it only made up of line segments, isn't it? Yes, that is also true. Here four line segments together form this simple closed curve. So this is an example of a polygon, isn't it? Yes. Now let us look at number 2. Number 2 again is a closed curve and also a simple curve, and it has 6 line segments to formed. This therefore this is also a polygon, right? Now see the third one. Here also you see only line segments. How many line segments are there? 8 line segments formed this curve. So this one again a polygon, right? Yes. Now number 4. Have again, this is a simple curve, isn't it? This is a closed curve also. But this is made up of line segments? No. That means this is not a polygon. Now look at number 5. This also not a polygon because it is not made up of line segments, right? So in this way, you can decide which out of these curves are polygons and which are not. Now let me talk about one or two examples. Let's look at this image. It is made up of line segments, right? It is also a closed curve. But is it a polygon? No, it is not a polygon. Why? Because this is not a simple curve. It's a non-simple curve because it crosses itself. So, therefore, it doesn't satisfy the criteria to become a polygon. Because many times what happens in order to become a polygon, most important criteria is that they should be made up of line segments, isn't it? In the moment you see line segment, you think that it is a polygon. But to become a polygon, all the three criteria should be matched. What are that? It should be a simple curve, it should be a closed curve, it should be made up of only line segments. Similarly, look at this image number 6. Have you seen? Total 12 line segments formed this, and this is a closed curve and this is a simple curve, so it is also a polygon, right? So the rest of the images which is uh, given here, I leave it up to you to decide which one is a polygon and which one is not a polygon. Okay, right. Now let us discuss about various categories of polygon. Now polygon can also be regular or irregular polygons. So first one is regular polygon. A regular polygon is its all sides and all angles are equal. So the definition of regular polygon will become more easy when we take examples. Right? So here we will have to ensure that all the sides and all the angles are equal, isn't it? So let us look at some examples. So when you look at a polygon with the three sides, so what is the polygon with the three sides called? It is called a triangle, right? Triangle, that is three angles. Now, do you think that all triangles will have all sides are equal and all angles are equal? No, not at all. Because different triangles might have different measurements. But there is one type of triangle which always has all the three sides are equal and also will have angles are equal. Now, what is the name of that triangle? That is nothing but our equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle having their all angles and all sides are equal. So, equilateral triangle is an example of a regular polygon. Similarly, when you look at the next example where you have five sides, so a polygon which is made up of five sides, that is called a pentagon, isn't it? So a pentagon with all the sides equal and all the angles also equal, that is also an example of regular polygon. So this is basically a regular pentagon. Now think of a square. Square also has all its sides equal. Angles are also equal to 90 degree, right? Therefore, square is also an example of regular polygon. So regular polygon always will have all their angles equal and all their sides equal, right? Clear? What is a regular polygon? Its all sides and angles are equal. So what are irregular polygon? Irregular polygons are all sides and all angles are not equal, right? Now, obviously, irregular polygons would be those where all sides and all angles are not equal, isn't it? So, either all the three angles are different or maybe two angles are same, but one angle is different. So anything that, but here all sides and all angles will not be equal. So think of any other triangle other than the equilateral triangle. So that would be an irregular polygon. Means what are the examples? Maybe a scalene triangle, maybe a isosceles triangle. Clear? These both are the examples of irregular polygon. Think of a rectangle and not a square. In rectangle, we have all angles equal to 90 degree, but the sides means all sides are not equal. Only opposite sides are equal, isn't it? So rectangle is also an example of irregular polygon. Now you think of a parallelogram. So in case of parallelogram, as well, you do not have all angles are equal, isn't it? So in case of parallelogram, only the opposite angles are equal. Same way, sides also, opposite sides are equal, but not all sides, isn't it? So a parallelogram also an example of irregular polygon. So these all are the examples of irregular polygon. Clear? So I hope you clear that what is a regular polygon and what is an irregular polygon. Okay. Let us now again look at another category or another type of polygon based on their shapes. Okay, so they are convex and concave polygons. So let's first understand what are convex polygons. Now, convex polygons are those whose interior angles are less than 180 degree. So when we talk about a convex polygon, here all the interior angles should be less than 180 degree. So what is 180 degree? We know that 180 degree is called a straight angle, right? So when we say anything less than 180 degree, this could be something like an acute angle, maybe it is an obtuse angle, or maybe it is a right angle, isn't it? Because these all angles are less than 180 degree. So let us look at some example of convex polygon. So if you look at this, this is a triangle. Now what are the interior angle? All of the interior angles are less than 180 degree, right? Of course, because they are even less than 90 degree, isn't it? So we know that the means being entire angle would have been 180 degrees, isn't it? We already learned that angle sum property. Sum of all angles of a triangle is interior angles of a triangle is 180 degree, isn't it? So here all of them are less than 180 degree. Look at this hexagon. So what are the interior angles? Now look at any of them. They all are less than 180 degree, isn't it? Yes. Now give an example of an angle which is more than 180 degree. So when you look at this angle, here E means that is exterior. For example, this angle is an example of an angle which is more than 180 degree, right? But in this case, we are talking only about the interior angles, and all interior angles are less than 180 degree. Now look at this one. The square have all angles are 90 degree, which is again less than 180 degree. So this is also a convex polygon, isn't it? So this is what signifies which one is a convex polygon and which one is a concave polygon. Now look at these examples. These all are convex polygons, and I am sure we means at least to see you know why they are convex, because their angles are all less than 180 degree. Means I hope you clear the concept, isn't it? So now that we have discussed these examples of convex polygon, right? So let's talk about the concave polygons. The word concave already has the term cave in it. So when you look at this concave polygon, they would give you this cave-like structure. as you see here, this gives you a cave-like shape. Everywhere in all the shapes you see, you get to see that cave thing, isn't it? So, uh, in concave polygon, at least one interior angle is greater than 180 degree. That is the definition of a concave polygon. Now, as long as all interior angles are less than 180 degree, they remain convex polygon, right? But the moment any one angle is greater than 180 degree, it becomes a concave polygon. Clear? So if one or more than one interior angle is greater than 180 degree, then that type of a polygon is a concave polygon. And the moment one of these angles become greater than 180 degree, it forms a cave like structure. Like as you see in the first image, here you see, look at this angle where I have drawn with a red color. This is an interior angle. This interior angle is more than 180 degree, because 180 we know that like as a straight angle, isn't it? If you make a straight line here, you can see that the angle is greater than that line, right? So it is more than 180 degree. Since it is more than 180 degree, it is forming this cave like structure. Clear? Similarly, when you look other angles, same way, they are also more than 180 degree, but the interior part of the angles that are less than 180 degree. Clear? Now look at this diagram. This angle when I have drawn with a red color is more than 180 degree, isn't it? But other than these, all are less than 180 degree. Here you have this angle more than 180 degree. So wherever you have that angle greater than 180 degree, there you see the cave like structure, isn't it? Right? So here you have just one cave. In other cases, you can see that more than one caves are there, isn't it? So these all diagrams are having at least one interior angle is greater than 180 degree. So these all are concave polygons. So these are the two types of polygons that we come across, convex and concave polygons. Clear? I hope you understood that what is a convex polygon and what is a concave polygon. Clear? Okay. Next point is diagonals of a polygon. Now, in terms of a polygon, every polygon has a very important parameter which is called diagonals. Okay. Now, what is a diagonal of a polygon? It is a line segment that connect two non-consecutive vertices of a polygon. Now, when we talk about a polygon, we talk about its sides, that is the line segments which makes the polygon, isn't it? For example, if we take an example of a pentagon, have 5 line segments make this a polygon, right? Now, the points where the line segments are joined to each other, these points are called vertices. In singular, we can say that it is a vertex, and in plural it will be vertices, right? Now if we draw a line segments such that it connected two non-consecutive vertices of the polygon, so what would be non-consecutive vertices? The vertices that are not lying in the same line segment or same side. Clear? So, if you draw a line connecting two non-consecutive vertices, that line is called diagonals, right? So, basically, any line drawn between any two non-consecutive vertices is called the diagonal of a polygon. All these are examples of diagonals. Now, a polygon can have multiple diagonals. Now, depending on how many sides the polygon has. That is, a polygon which has 4 sides, it has a lesser number of diagonals than a polygon which has 10 sides, because more number of sides makes means it would have more number of vertices. Clear? More number of vertices means they could be more possibilities of more line segments joining non-consecutive vertices. So that is why more number of sides polygons are having more number of diagonals, right? So let's look at some more examples. Let's look at an example of a square. So in a square, you can have two diagonals. So in a square, we have two possible diagonals, right? You cannot have more than that, more than two diagonals. Similarly, you can take a parallelogram. Similarly, have here also you can see that having two diagonals. Now you can see other polygons like one concave polygon. Here, here also you have the concept of diagonals, isn't it? You can see, just see. So you have to join any of the two non-consecutive vertices here. So this is a diagonal, or this could also be a diagonal. This could also be a diagonal. So like that, you can draw several diagonals. Okay. Similarly, you can join this point to this. That's also a diagonal. And this point to this. This is also a diagonal. Like as this to this also a diagonal. So, like this, many number of diagonals are there. Like that, you can see other concave figures also, right? Means a concave polygon also having many number, yeah, multiple number of diagonals, right? So, this is how we determined the diagonals of a polygon. Clear? Now, our next point is types of polygon. Now, look at the type of polygon depending on the number of sides. How could we say that? Means it is depending on the number of sides of the polygon. So now a polygon with three sides. What it is called? It is called a triangle, isn't it? Here three angles and three sides are there, right? Now how many diagonals do you have a triangle? Do you have any diagonal for a triangle? Let's see. How many vertices a triangle have? Three vertices, isn't it? Any non-consecutive vertices is there? No, isn't it? So that is why a triangle could not have any diagonal, isn't it? So what is the number of diagonals having a triangle? That is zero itself. Clear? So a triangle does not have a diagonal. Now you might say that why did we start with three sides? Can't we have a polygon with two sides? Can we have? No, we can't have a polygon with two sides because you have two sides, then it will be an open curve, like as an angle, isn't it? Not a closed curve. And a polygon has to be a simple closed curve. So here with the two sides cannot form a polygon, right? Isn't it? We cannot make it two-sided line segments a polygon, isn't it? Can you form a polygon with a one side? Definitely not, because it's a line segment. It's not a closed curve again, isn't it? So that is why we cannot make a polygon with a one side, isn't it? So for a polygon, it could be minimum three sides, and of course you can have more sides. Okay, so we can see some more examples of polygons. Polygons with a four side. These polygons are called a quadrilateral. So the word comes from four. So there are different types of quadrilaterals are there. You can see the square, rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, etc. Isn't it? So these are basically many types of quadrilaterals. Similarly, a polygon with a five sides is called a pentagon. Penta means five. So five sides are there. Six side would be, six means hexa. So it would be a hexagon. Similarly, seven side would be heptagon. Eight sides would be octagon. And like yes. other sides also, other polygons also you can see. Okay, so thus we see that any polygon which has number of sides like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Isn't it? So we can say that any closed simple curve with n sides can be called as n-gon. Clear? So that is how you can guess easily that many different types of polygons according to their sides. Right? Accordingly, they got the name also. So clear the types of polygons. Okay? So let me start our exercise 3.1. The first question is, given here are some figures, classify each of the figure on the basis of the following name. So figures are already given. You have to classify them as if it is a simple curve, it is a simple closed curve, if it is a polygon, if it is a convex polygon, and if it is a concave polygon. Right? So let me start. So first figure. First, we have to see which are as a simple curve. So first figure, if it is a simple curve, yes or no? What is a simple curve? Simple curve means it will not cross itself, isn't it? So here, this figure cannot cross themselves. So it is a simple curve. So yes. Second one, that's also a simple curve, isn't it? It can also be cross itself. Now third one, no, because there two circles are given, isn't it, together. So that is why it is not a simple curve. Next one, that's also no, because that is crossing themselves. Now fifth one, yes, it is a simple curve. Now sixth one, yes, that is also a simple curve, isn't it? Seventh one, that also a simple curve. But eighth one, no. Here you can see two circles are there, up and down. So that is why that is not a simple curve. Clear? So what are simple curves here? Figure 1, 2, 5, 6 and 7. Right? Now see second one, simple closed curve. What is a simple closed curve? It's a simple curve and it should be closed, means it enclosed with area. So first one, yes. Second, yes. Third, no. Fourth also no. Five, yes. Sixth, yes. And seven also. Same way. If it is a simple curve, these all are simple curve also and simple closed curve also. Same one. Okay. Now see the polygon. What is a polygon? Polygon means it's a simple closed curve made up of line segments, isn't it? So first one, yes, it's a simple closed curve and it is made up of line segment. So yes. Second one, that's also yes, it is also a simple closed curve and it is made up of line segment. Third one, no. Fourth one, yes, it's also a closed curve and it is made up of line segment. It is having area, isn't it? It is a closed curve, but it is not a simple closed curve. It is not a simple curve. Why? Because it is crossing themselves. So that is why. Clear? But it is a polygon. Other figures, all are not a polygon because all are not made with line segments. Right? Now next, convex polygon. First one, no, because all angles are less than what we need. All angles should be less than 180 degree. Then only it will become a convex polygon, isn't it? But first figure, inside that we can see that one angle is more than 180 degree. So no. Second one, yes. Inside interior all angles are less than 180 degree. So it's a convex polygon. Other all are not a convex polygon. So only 2 is the convex polygon. Now concave polygon. What is concave polygon? At least one interior angle should be more than 180 degree. Isn't it? So first one, yes. Here one angle should be more than 180 degree. And it is like a cave also. We can see that is also one example, means it is having cave. So it is a concave polygon. Second, no. Third, no. Now fourth one, yes. Here smaller angles are 180, less than 180, but interior angles inside one, that all are more than 180 degree. So it is a concave polygon. Other all are no. So what are the answer? Figure 1 and figure 4 are concave polygons. Clear? Okay. Now, question number 2. How many diagonals does each of them have? First one is a convex quadrilateral. So, any convex quadrilateral, how would it look like? Maybe something like a square, yeah, rectangle, etc. Isn't it? So, quadrilateral anyway, it has four sides and it's a convex quadrilateral because all its interior angles are less than 180 degree, right? So here, how many diagonals can we draw? So maximum, we can draw two diagonals, isn't it? We can join A to C and B to D. So AC and BD, these both are the diagonals of a convex quadrilateral. Clear? Now second one, a regular hexagon. Now, when we talk about a regular hexagon, hexagon means it has six sides, and regular means it has all angles and sides are equal, right? So, in this case, how many diagonals can we draw? So, we can name the hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, from A, you try to join all the non consecutive vertices. So, with A, we can draw three diagonals, isn't it? What are they? A to E, A to D, and A to C. Now join with the B, that is B to D, B to E, and B to F. Now with the C. With the C, we can draw C to F and C to E. C to A already drawn, already connected, isn't it? Now with the D. With the D also, D to B is already connected and D to C also already connected. What is remaining there? So D to F is remaining there. So we can draw D to F. Now if we go through E and F, that all lines are connected, isn't it? So no need to draw again. So we got now total line of diagonals. How much? 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. How much it is? 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. So a regular hexagon has 9 diagonals. Clear? Now third one, a triangle. A triangle is having any diagonal? No, because it has no non-consecutive vertices, isn't it? We cannot connect it with any vertices. So that is why it's a triangle. A triangle does not have a diagonal. So the answer is 0. Clear? So here we are winding up this session. You have to note down all important points and their definitions with at least one example in your notebook. Okay. Then after that you can solve exercise 3.1 question number 1 and 2 that we already solved here. Okay. So I hope you all are completed all the lesson we have completed, means the first, second, sixth and seventh lesson. Isn't it? 4 lesson already over, fifth lesson we are starting now. Clear? So complete your work on time. Okay. Thank you.